learn something new. Welcome to your digital classroom. I am Saji Kevi and you are watching my channel, The Eureka. Act 4, Scene 1. In the first part, we learned when Duke requested Shylock to show mercy on Antonio, Shylock bluntly refused to show mercy on Antonio, giving him the reason that he likes the pound of flesh of Antonio more than his money. Let's continue the scene. Bassanio, this is no answer, thou unfeeling man, to excuse the current of thy cruelty. This is not an answer, you cruel man, for your outpouring of your cruelty. These reasons are not sufficient for your outpouring of your cruelty. Shylock, I am not bound to please thee with my answer. I am not bound to please with my answer. I have no intention to please you with my answer. Bassanio, do all men kill the things that they do not love? Do all the men kill the things that they do not love? Shylock, hates any man the thing he would not kill? Is there anyone who does not kill the thing that he really hates? And here we find Shylock is very argumentative. Bassanio, every offense is not a hate at first. Every offense should not be a cause of hatred for you. You should not consider minor offense as a reason for you to hate someone. Shylock, what? Would thou have a serpent sting thee twice? Would you allow a serpent, a snake, to bite you 2 times? Antonio insulted Shylock in the past, and now Shylock got an opportunity to get rid of Antonio from Venice. Should he allow Antonio to live and continue to insult Shylock? Antonio, I pray you, think you question with the Jew. Antonio tells Bassanio, Bassanio, I request you, remember you are arguing with a Jew. You may as well go stand upon the beach and bid the main flood bait him you shall hide. Instead of arguing with Shylock, you go and stand on the beach of the sea and order the sea waves to reduce its height. And sea waves may obey your order rather than Shylock accepting your request. You may as well use a question with the wolf, why he hath made the ewe bleat for the lamb. Instead of arguing with Shylock, you may question the wolf that made the female sheep cry for the lamb that the wolf had killed. You may as well forbid the mountain pines to wag their high tops and to make no noise when they are threatened with the gusts of heaven. Instead of arguing with Shylock, you may order the pine trees growing on the mountain not to wave, not to move their branches and make sound when the wind is blown. You may as well do anything most hard as to seek soften that than which is harder. Instead of arguing with Shylock, You may do anything harder than that. The heart of the Jew is harder than the hardest thing on earth. Therefore, you should not argue with Shylock. Therefore, I do beseech you, make no more offers, use no further means, but with all brief and plain conveniency, let me have judgment and do his will. Therefore, I request you, you should not make any offer before Shylock, nor try any other means to convince Shylock, but with all speed and simplicity, as it is convenient to you, make your judgment and let the Jew have his will. Let the Jew may have his will. Bassanio, for 3,000 ducats, here is 6. I offer you 6,000 ducats instead of 3,000 ducats. Shylock, if every ducat in 6,000 ducats were in 6 parts and every part a ducat, I would not draw them. I would have my bond. Even if every ducat of 6,000 ducats is divided into 6 parts and every part be a ducat, I shall not accept that offer. Instead of 6,000 ducats, you give me 36,000 ducats. I shall not accept it. I want to have my bond, a pound of flesh of Antonio. This is the first offer Bassanio makes to Shylock to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Duke, how shalt thou hope for mercy, rendering none? How can you hope for mercy of God when you do not show any mercy to anyone? Shylock, what judgment shall I tread, doing no wrong? What judgment should I fear when I have not done anything wrong? I have not demanded anything which is not mentioned in the bond. Therefore, I have not done anything wrong. You have among you many purchased slaves, which like your asses, your dogs and mules, you use in unjust and in slavish parts, because you bought them. You Christians have bought slaves like you to buy donkeys, mules, asses and dogs from the market, and you use them in an unjust, in a miserable condition and in a degrading manner, as you have bought them and they are yours. Shall I say to you, let them be free, marry them to your heirs? Now, if I tell you, let your slaves be free and let them marry your children, what your answer would be? Why sweat they under burdens? Let their birds be made as soft as yours. Let their parades be seasoned with such viands. Let them be free. Why should they sweat on account of the hardship and the burden that they carry? Let them have bed as soft, as comfortable as your bed. Let them have food as delicious as you have the food. You will answer, the slaves are ours. So do I answer you this. The pound of flesh which I demand of him is dearly bought. When I say so, you will answer that the slaves are ours. and we would treat as we wish them. Therefore, my answer is this: I have bought this pound of flesh very dearly, and it is mine. It's mine, and I will have it. This pound of flesh of Antonia is mine, and I shall have that pound of flesh. If you deny me, fie upon your law. There is no force in degrees of Venice. And if you deny me justice, shame on your laws. And this will show that laws of Venice do not have any power. I stand for judgment. Answer, shall I have it? I wait for the judgment. Shall I have the pound of flesh? Duke, upon my power, I may dismiss the court unless Valerio, a learned doctor whom I have sent for to determine this, come here today. With my authority, I am willing to adjourn the proceedings of the court today unless Dr. Valerio, a learned doctor of law, comes here to decide the case. Valerio, my lord, here stays without a messenger with the letters from the doctor, new come from Padua. My lord, a messenger is waiting outside with the letter of Dr. Valerio, and who is directly now coming from Padua. Duke, bring us letters, call the messenger. Bring the letter and call the messenger in. Bassanio, good cheer, Antonio, what man courage yet, that you will have my flesh, blood, bonds and all, ere thou shalt lose for me one drop of blood. Antonio, cheer up, have courage, that you will have my blood and bond and all that I have before you lose a drop of blood for my sake. This is the second offer that Bassanio makes to save Antonio from the clutches of Shylock. Antonio, I am tainted wether of the flock, meetest for death. I am the diseased ram of the flock. I am the sick ram of the flock, and ready to meet my end. The weakest kind of fruit drops earliest to the ground. The weakest fruit falls from the tree to the ground first. And so let me die. Antonio has resigned himself to his fate. Therefore, he considers that he is the diseased ram, diseased male sheep, and the weakest fruit. Antonio compares himself to the diseased ram and the weakest fruit, and that should die. You cannot better be employed, Bassanio, than to live still and write mine epitaph. Antonio tells Bassanio that he should live so that he can write an epitaph on the tomb after the death of Antonio. Duke came from Padua, from Valerio. Nerissa enters the court in the dress of a clerk of the lawyer. And then Duke asks Nerissa, have you come from Padua and from Dr. Valerio? Nerissa, from both, my lord. Valerio greets your grace. Yes, I have come from Padua and from Dr. Valerio, and Dr. Valerio has given you his greetings. Thanks for watching my channel. Kindly subscribe, turn on the notifications so that you may not miss any videos.